Rosie and welcome back to my channel. As a non-Jewish Asian American, it's a surprise I somehow ended up going to Jewish preschool. I grew up in rural upstate New York and the Jewish preschool was the only one near me. We always had incredible challah at school and I turned into the biggest challah snob at 3 years old. The soft, eggy, sweet bread with the beautiful brown, shiny crust was one of my favorite foods growing up. To my dismay, as an adult, I've had a hard time finding good challah from commercial bakeries. They tend to be overly dry or lacking in flavor, so I learned how to make my own. All you need are a few ingredients. I'll be making enough dough in this video to make 2 loaves, one braided and one in a loaf pan. To be honest with you, I usually make challah in the loaf pan because it's easier and I actually prefer the sandwich bread shape, but I'll show you both ways here. To the 4 eggs, I add 2/3 cup of white sugar, 2 teaspoons of Himalayan pink salt, a 1/2 cup of grapeseed oil, but you can use any vegetable oil with neutral flavor, 1½ cups of warm water, and then 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast, straight from the freezer. To the liquid ingredients, I add a total of 1,000 grams of bread flour. You might need a little bit more or less based on your humidity. I'm using bread flour because it's the only white flour I keep on hand, but feel free to use all-purpose flour instead if you want an even more tender crumb. Yep, you heard that right. I store my yeast in the freezer and add it directly to the dough mixture. I know it sounds crazy, but I actually never bloomed the yeast before using it in any of my recipes. I use yeast from nuts.com, not sponsored, and find that it's really active, so I can cut out this extra step and use a smaller amount of yeast. Instead of working really hard to knead the shaggy dough, I'm just going to let it sit for about 30 minutes to let the flour hydrate. This will make kneading a lot easier and faster, and you won't get as much sticky dough on your hands. See how a little time makes the dough so much smoother? I'm giving it a gentle knead here just to start building up that gluten structure and ensure all the ingredients are mixed thoroughly. There are 3 rises or proofing stages in this recipe. The first and the last are at room temperature, and the one in the middle is a cold proof in the fridge for either a few hours or overnight. If you are short on time, you can skip this cold proof, but it adds more flavor and makes the dough a bit easier to work with if you are braiding it. I've used a double recipe here, so I'm first splitting the dough in half. Let's make the loaf first. It's super easy. Just tuck the sides under to shape it. I know it still kind of looks bumpy, but it'll smooth out with baking. Now onto the easy 4-braid challah. I'm dividing the dough into 4 pieces and shaping it for braiding. My dough is a bit wetter and stickier than most challah recipes because I want a more moist crumb. You can add a bit more flour to make the dough easier to handle, but try not to add too much or else the challah will be dry and dense. Think of this strand all the way on the left as your lead strand, and these other three as their own group. The lead strand needs to go all the way over to the right, but has to cross this group of three by going over, under, and over like this. Now you have a new lead strand on the left. Again, it has to get all the way over to the right by crossing over, under, and then over. Just pinch the ends together and tuck them under. I just have one beaten egg here, and I'm applying the first coat of egg wash right after shaping. I'll do a second coat of egg wash right before baking. I've also done this with a loaf, but forgot to film that part, so please forgive me. I love eating challah any time of day, but one of my favorite uses of this bread is in vanilla custard French toast. I'll show you how I make my ultimate French toast in a future video, so be sure to subscribe. I hope you try this recipe and let me know how it goes. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and say hi in the comments. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!